At this time, we'd like to call the order of the regular meeting of the Board of Plattsburgh Municipal Lighting Department. Ms. Cronley, would you please conduct a roll call?
Director Bond? Here. Director Avery?
Here.
Director Dibb?
Here.
Director Talon?
Here.
Director Manette?
Here.
Director Moore?
Here.
Director Rosenquist?
Here.
Tracy?
Here.
Here.
Here. First item of business is approval of minutes of the August 29th, 2024 board meeting. Motion? Councilor Gibbs, second by Councilor Avery. Any alterations, changes, deletions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Item number 2, the financial report presented by Mr. Tracy.
Yes, you've seen the chart. September was a good month. Our revenues exceeded expenses. And the last part of it is our Rex and Zex that we always talk about. That has continued to decline, and it's now towards 2.5 million. This year, it will easily go over 3 million. And unfortunately, that's on an upward climb.
I'm sorry, Bill, could you say that? What? Rex and Zex? Is that what you
Yes.
said?
The renewable energy credits and the zero emission credits. Those prices are set by NYSERDA. And they're charged to all ratepayers in the state of New York.
Right.
Depending, it depends how much you use in the way of energy, depends how much you pay for this in kilowatt hours. You use a little bit of kilowatt hours, you don't pay much. You use a lot of kilowatt hours, you pay a lot.
Any further discussion on the financial report? I'll take a motion to accept the financial report as presented by Mr. Tracy. Motion by Councilor Gibbs, second. Councilor Avery, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Moving on to departmental reports. Everybody has received the reports. Any questions about the reports as provided?
The only one I will point out on the work in progress completed was done on October 7th. We at 7:05 a.m. we had an explosion over at the Bailey Street sub. The first compartment had blew, and it blew out the doors on both sides. There's a steel wall in between. It blew a softball-sized hole right through it. Everything got in there blackened. In fact, when our tech got over there, there was a small fire going on the inside. We had plywood in there where our batteries on the far side of that switchgear is located. We had to put it out with an extinguisher. It resulted in the center phase blowing at the substation, and everybody that was off that substation was on partial power, including the Bailey Street School. We had power restored to them in about 45 minutes by switching everybody around, putting them on other different substations as a backup while we repaired the damage over there. It took a couple of weeks, and we had to bring in commissioning teams for it and all. But as of last week, that sub is back up again and running. However, you will see the switch gear. We had to remove it out of there. We got an initial quote for the repairs to it, and I will be discussing that later in the meeting.
Yeah, there's an item on the agenda to approve the rebuilding of that substation.
Or the switch gear itself. The IEP program is pretty much complete. They're still doing the rebate program, which will stay in progress till the end of the year, and the installation program. And there's one more person they got to do, and then that's completed for the year. And that's all I have for that.
Thanks, sir. Any questions? I'll move on to item number 4. Take a motion to authorize MLD to purchase vehicles. Motion. Second. Oh, I'm sorry, motion by Counselor Gibbs, second. Counselor Avery, discussion.
So are these, are they all electric?
The first two are, the other one, the third one's a hybrid. Problem is,
I see it.
the EVs don't have the range to get us to our training areas in Western New York. There's not enough charging stations, level 3s out that way. And in fact, as I mentioned before, all four of them came from Rochester. 3 of them made it here with a couple of miles to spare before they would shut down. The fourth one ran out of juice at Scroon Lake, and they couldn't find a charger to charge it. So they had to bring it here by tow truck, on a flatbed tow truck.
So do you anticipate that these will be on a wait list? You know, purchasing the
Oh, no.
electric vehicles?
No. Apparently, people don't want them as much as they did in the past years.
Okay,
If I wanted to, I could go down to any Ford dealership. They're sitting on the lot there, nobody's buying them.
okay.
But we're buying from Fleet, which has other features built in, like a white and amber lighting for emergencies for us. Skid resistant plate underneath the vehicles, because we do go over ground. We're not always on the road. So they got different features that you don't normally get on a regular F-150.
Okay. Are there any kind of grant programs available for municipalities if you're going to upgrade your fleet to green energy, and kind of rebate or grant programs or anything like that that you know of?
Yes, the IEP program does give us,
That's pretty much it?
yeah,
Okay,
they give you tax credits, but tax credits still do us any good since we don't pay taxes. So, unfortunately, maybe one day they will change that.
What's the repair schedule like on these, as far as like how much they break down, how much they have to get repaired, that kind of?
The four we have, knock on wood,
That's not-
haven't had a problem.
Oh, okay, all right.
We've had some minor things, but they've been under warranty. Usually it's updated the software. And Chazy Ford comes down here and they come down site and do the work here. So it hasn't been much of a problem with these. They're great around town.
Yeah.
But I just wouldn't take them on a long distance trip.
now what is the range different for these kinds of vehicles in comparison to a personal vehicle?
No, it's about the same.
About the same?
The fully EV, this one gets, as Ford quotes, 240 miles. However, when the first time I bought the vehicles, the first two years ago, I got a call from a lady in their corporate that says, we're calling all first time F-150 buyers to explain the mileage on there. We came up with the 240 was based on one person in the vehicle, no cargo in the, what do they call it, the trunk in front or in the bed. It's not towing anything. It went around a circular concrete track and 77-degree weather. So she said, if you're going to have, you could put 4 people in this vehicle. You could put cargo in the hole in the bed. You could tow a trailer. If you're 10 degrees out in hilly country, you're going to get a lot less mileage. Now, we haven't tried that, but like I said, we're using them pretty much around town here, and they work great.
And that's a cold, has a big impact on it.
We didn't have much problem last winter because it was kind of mild. We'll see.
Yeah.
But we have 4 of them now, and then I have no complaints from the people who are driving them. Yeah, that's the only problem, because it'd be like playing, if you're familiar with the term Russian roulette. So. Hence, that's why we're getting the hybrid, since it has a fuel tank on it, a small one, but it will get us the distance where we need to go for the training and so forth.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Item number 5, motion to authorize MLD to contract for repair and remanufacturing testing of the former Bailey Avenue substation switchgear and breakers. Motion, Counselor Talon, second by Counselor Avery. Discussion?
So, when will this work likely be able to be completed? Is this something that can be done?
It will,
Where is it seasonal? How does
it will be done. Once we give them the purchase order and we arrange transportation to get it to Connecticut. Because it's going to be National Breaker Services. We've used them before for quite a number of things. They figure by May they'd have it ready. If I was trying to buy a new one, it would cost somewhere between $1.5 million, $2 million. And I'd be lucky if I see it in 3 years.
Okay.
But this is rebuilding this. They already have pretty much all the parts on site. Right now, their estimate is about $270,000, but I put it up to $350 because the potential transformers they didn't include. They want to test them, but considering the damage in there, I suspect 1, if not all 3 of them, are shot. So that's why it's at $350.
How does that impact electric service that comes in or out of there? Does it impact anything at all?
No,
No.
we had a spare one in the yard.
Okay.
We installed it over the last 2.5 weeks. We brought in a company to test it and commission it. And like I said, last Thursday, it went online. It's been online ever since. So what we'll do is send this one out, get it all refurbished and fixed, and then we'll put it back in our yard again for the future. We have 21 distribution subs. About 16 of them meet this type of switchgear. So if we have lightning strikes or anything else weird happening, we do then have a backup that we can replace it with.
Any further question or any further discussion? Roll call. I'm sorry. All in favor?
Okay.
Any opposed? Carried. Item number 6, motion to authorize MLD to advertise for bids. Motion by Counselor Avery, second by Counselor Gibbs. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Item number 7, authorizing MLD to write off unpaid final bills as required by the New York State Department of Public Service Regulations. Motion. Counselor Gibbs, second. Counselor Manette. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Is there any old business to come before this board? Any new business coming before this board? Any persons addressing this board, MLD board? I know that there's a question or there's a request to review the MLD budget tonight, correct?
Mhm.
Okay, we'll do that after we adjourn. Motion to adjourn. Counselor Talon, second by Counselor Avery, all in favor?
Aye.
We're now adjourned. Counselor Gibbs, you can leave this on. The live stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Counselor Gibbs, I apologize, it did not get your request until today, or didn't see it until today.
Okay.
So I will send those sheets tomorrow or Friday.
Okay, thank you. Is there any particular order we want to do this? Do we just want to go through the budget or?
Or just to give questions. I mean,
Yeah,
the
I just-
budget pretty much tracks what this year's budget, I should say. There's a few things,
I have just a specific set of questions, like places on the budget where I made questions, if that's okay. So do you have the budget the way that we have it here in this bound?
starting on page 39.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. On page 39, where it is MLD residential sales,
Mhm.
I just wondered what that was.
That's selling power to residential customers,
So sorry.
basically estimating how much power we're going to sell this year by the rates that we charge.
Okay,
Same thing with the commercial, small commercial, large
Oh,
commercial, industrial, it's all the same.
okay.
It's looking at what we used in the past years and what we see with the weather and so forth this year.
So that's gonna go up based on rates, basically?
Yep, that's on the rates.
Okay,
The rates were last approved January 1st, 2010.
so then likewise, electricity purchased.
That's what we have to purchase
That's what
from
we
the state,
purchase.
yeah,
Okay,
that's transmission costs and everything else on there. That's going up, unfortunately, because that's also includes the RECs and ZECs. And the New York Power Authority has indicated they're looking at 1st of July next year, raising the hydro. We'll see. This is the fourth date that they've given us, because they were supposed to do it last year. Then we're gonna do it this year. We're gonna do it 1st of January. Now they're saying the 1st of July. It's the last time they had a rate increase was back in 2010. They approved it, and it was over a 4-year period, 2011 to 2014. So where we are right now, rumor has it it's 50%, but we don't know the details of it. It's still within White Plains office being decided by their management and senior management. When they finally come to a conclusion what it's going to be, they will then send it up to their board of trustees who will review it. And if they agree with it at that point, then will be made public, and they will set up a public comment period around the state at the various NYPA facilities like they did last time.
I had a question on page 41 where it says repairs, distribution, and I don't know what PTF stands for.
Poles, towers. Huh?
Fixtures?
Fix-
Oh,
fixtures.
poles, towers and fixtures.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All these acronyms are what the Public Service Commission uses in,
Mhm.
what we're told to use in our budgets.
All right, so that's going up 200% according to this.
Mm.
Okay.
Well, it's not actually increasing the electric rates. We're just moving it around with different categories from transmission to distribution, because we're set at a fixed number.
Okay. So on page 42. Operation URD district lines. What is that?
Underground distribution
Underground.
lines.
And that's going up 275%. So do we consider that income? Because it's.
No, that's
positive?
expense.
That's expense.
You gotta remember, this includes our manpower and our materials that we need. And we vary from year to year. The reason we got it done like this is it's required by the Public Service Commission, because if we go in for a rate increase, they want to see where we're spending the money.
Okay. On page 44, depreciation. I'm assuming that stands for distribution property. What is that?
That's our distribution lines. That brings the bulk of the power around the city. We have transmission lines, they have distribution lines.
And are you asking what the depreciation of that expense is?
I'm just, yeah, just in general, just an explanation of what it is, and when I see big numbers,
Yeah, that's required by the Public Service Commission. We have to put those in there by their formulas.
okay.
It's like if you buy a facility and every year you depreciate it on your taxes, same idea.
Oh, okay, okay.
You get staffing increases, fine.
We got one for next year. Yeah.
Retirements.
Planned
retirements.
We got one in December this year, and we got one who's debating.
So the planned addition is a backfill or an addition?
No, the planned addition, well, actually, we got two.
Yeah.
Funny how you brought that up. The one is to replace me.
Oh, you're leaving us.
Mayor, I promised you I'd stay for your first term. If you ran for a second term, I wasn't promising that. But, for your information, both mayoral candidates know it. Because I met both of them in March, and the first question out of their mouths was, "We hear you're leaving in December of next year." I said, news gets around fast.
So they still have the entire year with you, so.
Yeah, well, the idea is we hire a superintendent as soon as we can, and I take them through and train them. So that when I walk out the door, there's somebody capable of taking over.
Internal or external, it doesn't matter. What's your approach?
What do you mean?
Internal candidate or?
No, it's gonna have to be outside.
Yeah.
Nobody's interested.
Okay,
At least at this moment, nobody's interested.
Sure.
so 2025 will be your last year, is that what you're saying?
December 31st
Okay,
Of 2025.
of 2025.
so on page
Less
47,
days to count down, man.
Well, the way the years are flying by, I mean, I've already been in,
Wait till your last 62 days and you'll hear what I'm saying.
hey, I've been in this job 20 years now. So I mean, it's hard to believe 20 years has just flown right on by.
Bill, on page 47, I have a question about, it says, at the bottom, Pilot and City Street, I'm assuming that means City Street lights, underneath it says debt retired bond principal. Under the column of 2024 actual, there's nothing there. 2024 projected, there's an amount, and then 2025. I didn't understand why.
Where are we looking?
So on page 47, where
Right.
it says, debt, I'm assuming it stands for debt retired bond principal, debt
Mhm.
principal, 6,000. So under the 2024 actual category, there's a $0 amount. 2024 projected is 643,000 and some change, and then there's a number. I don't understand why there's a 0 next to 2024 actual.
Can I take that?
Yeah, you can have it.
Oh.
It's because the enterprise fund, we don't book it as a fund expense, it's a reduction to our liability, it's just treated differently on the accounting books, so we budget for the cash flow purposes. But nothing actually gets reported as an expense for the principal of the debt, only the interest. So in other words, we have a liability account of bonds payable of $3 million, and whatever is paid as principal just reduces that amount as a business. So it reduces the liability on the books. It's not treated as a fund expense.
In that same line, why is the 2025 down 502,000? It's down 25%. It looks like every year it's in the 600s. And then 2025 mayor's budget is $502,500.
We had one debt finished this year
Oh.
for a couple $100,000.
Okay,
So that's really gone, but then we have some new debt anticipated that will be a smaller dollar. So the 5 is.
You have any band or you have any active
At
band?
the end will be redone.
You do.
So that's
Yeah.
computed in there, but we've dropped like 225,000.
Your band is done this year. Your band is done this year.
Yes,
Okay.
we'll renew it. We'll bond it.
Well, yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, no, because we just got our new rate today, I think. Gotcha, okay, gotcha. So we will probably see a reduction in your debt service for next year based on the new bond rate. Yeah. That'll be added to the council's budget once we get the numbers.
What's the dollar amount?
How
how-
much? We don't know yet. It's November
They don't know.
15th.
Okay,
They go out for bid for it and find out. The
Yeah,
principal is 837.
we already put together the bond package and it was bid on yesterday or today or whatever. So.
okay. Those are the only questions that I had.
Okay.
Not a formal meeting, there's no adjournment, so if there are no other questions.
Bill and Kelly can be relieved.
I don't know, if anybody else has any questions?
I don't.
Thank you, Bill.
Well,
The
thank
board
you.
don't have any questions? I gotta write this
He
down.
answered them all.
You're so good. This will be a first.
You're retiring too soon.
I see the markets.
I think.
All right, folks, thank you.